Italy.
Very international today. Argentina, Europe, and US.
I'm sorry. One more time.
Very international today. Argentina, Europe, and the US.
Yeah, right.
No kidding. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I'm right now in Patagonia. Nice to meet you, Carl.
My pleasure, sir. How are you?
Great, great. I was thinking last time I saw NILE here in Buenos Aires. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. My last time. I don't know how many times did you come here to Latin America and stuff.
It's been a few years. I think the last time we were there was when I was really, really, really sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would have been about 18 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, it happens. How is it going with touring now? Are you doing international tours again? What's up? What's going on?
We have an upcoming tour in November in Europe. I think in September we're doing the Monterey Mexico Fest.
Wow, cool. I hope it goes well in Europe. Everybody expects a new lockdown or something like that because of COVID and so on. So the chaos continues a bit, I guess. So let's hope all for the best. I hope you come to Budapest or Portugal or somewhere so I can see you also. That would be great.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
How was it playing live again after the pandemic?
Oh, it was great. From the very first minute that we played on the first night, hit the first fucking chord, started the song, and like, oh yeah, this is why I love doing this. Yeah, fuck yeah, here we go.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
So it was quite hard, isn't it? You know, the pandemic time. How was for you?
Yeah, at the time we were in the middle of the Omicron surge. So it meant we had a lot of fucking rules and protocols on the tour bus, and it didn't make life very easy at all. It was difficult to keep order on a bus with a dozen metal guys, and they all have to follow rules. And metal people don't necessarily follow rules so good.
Right.
People don't like that.
But you didn't do a party all with masks on and so on in the bus, I assume.
Yeah, that's not metal. Nobody was happy, but we were happy to be making music, so that part was great.
Right, nice, and that's the best thing for us too. So we were very happy to hear you. You know, your other project. You know, your side project, not just NILE. Now, how do you feel with your own music? You know, beside NILE.
Well, it's a very calm kind of project. It's quiet. It's very tranquil and meditative. So it's about chilling out. Yeah. So it's relaxing music.
Yeah.
It'll help you fall asleep.
How did you start that project? What was your motivation or your inspiration for starting that project?
Well, I really just wanted some peace and quiet. When you play death metal, when you get you go on tour and you spend a lot of time touring, you are surrounded by death metal all day long. You got your not just your own sound check, but every band that's playing on the bill, their sound check too. Then the show, you hear all those bands again, and that's fucking wonderful, right? You're surrounded by death metal all day long. If you're in the building, there's some death metal going on. That's great. Who could, if you're a metal fan, who could ask for anything better than have metal all day long, every day?
Yeah.
But after 10 days, it's enough, I guess. After 10 days, you need a balance, right?
Yeah. I just want a little peace and quiet. I want to hear myself think. I without my brain being beaten into jelly with blast beats and double bass and people screaming at me all day long.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I need a piece of quiet, I downgrade to Metallica.
There you go. It's it's pop music.
Almost.
Exactly.
You were thinking this
Right.
project for so long?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
How long did you think about this project to make it real? Your own project.
Oh, well, I didn't think about it. When it first started, it wasn't an actual project at all. It was just music that I was making just to be happy. But Matt Jacobson, head of Relapse Records, heard me playing some of it on my day off and said, you know what, you got to release this. You got to share it with people. You can't just keep this to yourself. It'll be good for people. People will like really enjoy, what this is, because it's really restful, kind of peaceful, dreamy like stuff. You got to share it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, okay, all right, and so then it became a project.
It's an awesome compliment if somebody really tells you you have to share your music. It's the greatest compliment you can get as an artist. No?
Yeah, I took it that way as well. Like, if you're doing something, share it with people. Let other people have good from it too. Why not? That's the best reason to make music.
Right.
Are you planning to any tour, like you're alone, your solo project?
I don't think so. I think I have enough NILE touring to keep me happy. Some of this music would be really hard to reproduce just like it is. Exotic instruments, like lots of musicians. It would be a challenge. Like if I had a Hans Zimmer size budget, right?
Yeah.
Then I could do it. I could do something. Give Hans Zimmer's money and no problem.
Right.
Right.
It must be also nice to be able to just jam away and never have to play it again, like just out of inspiration without memorizing everything so exactly. Must be a nice feeling as well, no?
Yeah, like it's creatively very healthy to do a piece of music and then let it go. It's done. It's away from me and for other people. And I don't have to think about it anymore. I can just, if I want to hear it, I can just press play, just like everybody else, and enjoy it that way. I don't have to fucking think about it. I really like that. It's creatively very cleansing. Like, I did this thing, now my mind is free to think about something else.
It's also much less pressure than with NILE, I assume. I mean, NILE is a big deal. It's like a real business. So it's a completely different story. And you have no obligation. You can just express yourself as you want, right?
Yes. Which I think there's a conceptual separation between making music and music business, right? And once you take this pure free thing, this creative, making music, and you try to do this with it, this isn't as fun anymore.
Yeah.
As soon as it becomes a business, it's not fun anymore. Yeah, the Saurian albums are a lot of fun and creativity without all the stress and headache of NILE.
Right. Yeah. I mean, NILE is a pretty consistent band with its style. Many bands change direction in the middle of can go good, can go well, can go wrong. Do you think NILE will write completely different songs one day? Will they change their style, or will it be always faithful to the original style?
I think if you've been a band for many years and fans appreciate what you do, then doing something different than, too different. It's got to be different enough to be interesting. Not so different that the fans who love what you do can't relate to it. So I think there's kind of a duty to your fan base not to fuck over your fans by doing something so ridiculously different that they don't understand it the same way.
Right.
So with now established pretty well already what NILE is all about. So I think it's reasonable that if one is a NILE fan, one should have a reasonable expectation with a few little surprises maybe, but pretty much, it's not going to turn into AC/DC.
Right. Hopefully
Yeah.
not. I would be shocked. Then I would hit you up for sure.
We'd be looking for new jobs if we did that anyway. I think that's where bands really go wrong, is you got to respect your fans.
Right. Yeah, sure. So we like to ask sometimes also personal questions because we like to get to know the person behind the guitars, behind the band. Like, what brought you to metal? What was your first album? What's your story?
First album. Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Cream. These were the things I started listening to, when I was young, and that was a pathway. So by the time when I was a teenager that Iron Maiden and Judas Priest came along, I was already that mindset because of, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Cream, Led Zeppelin. That was the shit I loved. So it was kind of a natural evolution for me. And all of a sudden, Iron Maiden, fucking killers. What a killer record. I still listen to Killers. It's a great album.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Still like it?
Okay.
You still like those bands?
Sorry? Yes, of course I do. I still do.
And you transition slowly into the harder stuff. What was your first death or black metal album?
It's a fucking good question because, like Possessed, Seven Churches isn't exactly death metal, but it's pretty fucking close. So I think, right about that time, you had your early Slayer things, Hell Awaits, Haunting the Chapel, the early Slayer. That Possessed. I didn't really like Venom because I thought it was a little bit clownish. Although you had to love the imagery. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I also really liked the first Bathory records. I remember, hearing those and going, man, this is some dark shit.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah. Autumn. Wow. That was awesome. And
when did you decide to learn an actual instrument to start to play?
I've been playing since I was 9 years old.
Okay. So the instrument
in my
was
school,
metal.
all your life?
Yes, all my life. I was in 4th grade, and in my school, as an elective, you could take guitar. So, okay, I'm all on that. So there were 20 kids in my class, 20. And out of all those 20, I was probably the worst.
But well, it changed, and probably now you're the only one who makes a living out of it, or actually does it professionally, most likely. So you won the game.
Uh, yeah, one of my early teachers said to me, Carl, you will never be good enough to play your own music. Don't even bother with it.
Wow.
I went,
they were
nah, man.
And now your riffs are so brilliant on spot. I can't believe it.
Man.
Well, I had to work for it. You know, I wasn't the most gifted kid in the class. I had to work. I had to put the time in. But that's what matters. What matters is how bad you want it. That's what counts.
Yeah, exactly.
A great path. You know, it's some magazine told that you are the fourth best death metal guitarist of all the time. So, man, that's awesome.
Shows it to your old teacher.
Yeah.
I'm glad that some folks appreciate what it is I do, but you know, I don't put too much stock in polls and what magazines say, because like there were 10 guitar players on that list, but I could name 100 guitar players who should have been on that list who weren't. Guys that I take lessons from, who play circles around me. So a list, you know, you gotta take it with a little bit of grain of salt. You know, it's just a list. It doesn't actually mean anything. I mean, it means something.
On top of the list.
Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate the people who appreciate what I do. That means the world to me. But you know, I don't think about myself as the best or even close to it. That's not what it's about. It's about making some music that people enjoy. You know, death metal just happens to have lots of guitar and drums and screaming. It's got a lot of it.
Right.
Who are the guitarists that you think are underrated? You know, the death guitarists that underrated.
You know, someone who wasn't on the list that should have been, Moises Gosling from Crisian. Dude, that guy is scary good. Like, when we're on tour with Crisian, and we've toured with him several times over the years. Dude, when he starts warming up, every guitar player in that room stops what they're doing and gets a free guitar lesson from, you know, just by watching this guy. He's that fucking scary good. Oh. Scary good. Like, kind of good that makes you go, oh.
That you really need to see and hear him.
You gotta experience it. If you haven't seen Crisian, you cannot call yourself a metal fan. Right. Because you know what? They are some of the most metal guys on planet Earth. Yeah.
Right. Wow. I agree. You must have see them, Michael.
Yeah, I saw them. I forgot where. It was at the festival. Eventually, Brutal Assault or Metal Days or something like that. I don't remember. But I saw them. Pretty awesome. I have to re-listen to the albums now. After that comment, I have to re-listen to everything. Right. Do you discover also new bands, like total newcomer bands? Do you discover them on YouTube or Spotify or somewhere?
Or touring, maybe?
Mostly send me stuff in my inbox. And some of it's awesome. Some of it's not so awesome. So yeah, I hear new bands, but you know, yeah, that's all I want to say on that.
Okay. Let's keep it like that. Any outstanding great project you discovered the last years? I mean, we metalheads usually tend to stick to the old stuff, you know, like to the legendary albums we discovered for us in our life. timeline and listen over and over to the same stuff. And for me, it costs a lot to involve a new band. Like they have to be really good so that they come on my regular playlist. What's your last edition?
Yes. What's my last addition to my playlist?
Yeah.
New Immolation.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, as if I'm just making your point, because of course we've all loved Immolation for years, and they're fucking gods.
Right.
So it's kind of an answer that's cheating. What's new on my playlist?
Exactly.
Well, the new Immolation.
Come with underground band. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much music around. I'm always baffled. On YouTube, I could spend hours and hours and hours, or any other platform, I could spend hours, and one thing is greater than the other one. And the quality of metal improved so much in the last 30 years. When you started out 30 years ago, everybody just learned how to scream, how to play, how to do shit. And now it's such a massive quality guitarists, drummers, unbelievable, outstanding musicians. Sometimes it's a joy to get lost there in the auto suggestion somewhere. How is it for you when you yeah?
No, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead. You go ahead. You're
How is it for
doing quite
you
well.
when you are at a family barbecue or so, a barbecue with friends, and people ask you, "What are you doing? What type of music do you like? What's the moment for you? What do you say?"
I try not to say anything, because if you say to, like, most normal folks, hey, I play in a death metal band, we make records, we tour the world, they'll either do one of a couple things. They'll either go, you do what? Or if they understand what it is, all of a sudden now, like, they want to talk to you. Oh, you do? You make records? You travel? Have you ever been to such and such? Blah, blah, blah. And then you find yourself in, like, some really, really stupid conversations with people who aren't talking to you like a human being anymore. Like, now you're like some sort of exotic creature in a zoo. So mostly, I just shut the fuck up.
Right, yeah. It's not only you get the shit because you're a metalhead, but also since the fame, the outstanding things that you are successful, so it can't go well. Whichever way it goes, it's a problem. Right.
Yeah. So I shut the fuck up and things are better. Wow. Imagine that as a life guidance philosophy. It'll go better if I just shut the fuck up. Wow. Frank Zappa said it once. He had an album. It was called Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. And I thought that was a brilliant album title. Shut up and play your guitar.
That's good. You still learning, studying about the Egyptian culture to inspire or just for yourself?
All the time. All the time. There's been a whole lot of stuff in the last 2 years in the news, incredible new discoveries. Like out in Saqqara, some of the stuff they've dug up. Really amazing shit.
Right.
Yeah, they're building a new museum of Egyptology. This fucking thing is huge. When I was there, they were just like starting, and I was like, holy shit. But I think it's almost done now. So that'll be pretty interesting.
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is so creative, man. And I love how the way you write, of the lyrics.
I always start with the lyrics. When my students ask me, how do you write songs? I start with the words first.
Huh?
It makes everything else easier.
Interesting. And what comes next? The guitar? Riffs?
Yep. The riffs come next. Like, I got the words, right? I print them out so they're on a piece of paper. Then I take them in that room where I practice guitar. You can probably see the guitar in there. It's my
Wow.
I start playing, and I got the words right in front of me, so I have time to think about it. Like, if the word says, whatever, that's, as I'm playing the guitar, that's what I put in my mind. And eventually, the words inspire the guitars.
Then
And what's your
everything makes
inspiration?
sense.
What's your inspiration in the songwriting process? When you come up with the lyrics first, like what inspires you? Where does it come from?
It can come from wherever. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to go to my shelf over here where my books. Pick a book, any book, doesn't matter which book, right? Take the book and you hold it in your hand, right? Turn it, and then the next very important part is you gotta close your eyes. And you turn the book and just let it open wherever it opens. All right. All right, here it goes. Wherein was a white unicorn with a silver collar, whereupon graven the alpharum, linea verdis jurat universa. Okay, that's a fucking song.
Yeah.
That's all it is a start.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's my fucking start. There might be something on the next page.
Right. And when you write the
There
lyrics,
you go.
do you have to correct a lot?
And then
Like,
you write the riffs, and slowly you get an idea of how it all fits together.
Okay.
And you're guaranteed to never have the same result twice. Always be something different. The universe is guiding the creative process, not me.
Right.
The universe.
Well, now we know.
That's how it's done.
Right. I have many books here, so I'm gonna try.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Unfortunately, we are not songwriters, so I'm not sure if that would go well. And do you have to revise your lyrics a lot? Is it like you sit a whole night there with a pile of paper and you throw it away again? Do you revise a lot, or it comes out straight away well, or how is it?
I think it's very important as I'm working on it. If I don't like it, crumple it up and throw that one away. That way, in my mind, I've closed the door on it and it's gone. And whatever bad part about it is, I just don't think about that part anymore. I just remember the good parts. What was good. I'll keep what was good, and I've already thrown out. Right, like that. Throw it out. Very important. So as many times as it might take a month. It might take 2 months. It might take 3 months. It might take 50 different versions. That's okay. No one has to hear those 50 terrible ones. The only one that fans will hear is the one that is the finished one. You don't have to listen to the 50 bad versions of the song. The only one that had to suffer through that shit was me.
Yeah, just you and the band collaborate with the when you're building your songs.
Sometimes, more or less. I usually do a lot of work on the song before I even bring it to the guys.
Okay.
And then usually they'll take, whatever it is and add their own thing or take away their own thing or completely fuck it up altogether. But that's cool because that's part of the creative process.
Yeah, right. Suddenly you work in a team. And how long does that take, like to get the right tune for every instrument in one song? Do you have to rehearse a lot? How is that process going?
Well, since our drummer lives in Athens, Greece, we do a lot, back and forth. We send the song, and the time we get together, we pretty much know the songs already. We're just working out the little bugs, the little kinks. If we do this, we'll do this. You do that. But pretty much we know where the song's supposed to go before we even walk in the band room.
Mm.
Wow,
Cool.
right. Interesting, that process. Then one of the last questions: are you planning to come to Latin America maybe this year, next year?
I'd love to come. There's so many great metal fans in South America. How do you not go to South America? There would be some sort of metal crime, right? If you're a band and you don't come to South America,
Right.
right? And how metal that band actually is. So yeah, we're coming. I'm not sure exactly when yet, probably after the new record, but of course we're coming to South America.
Good,
Good to hear, especially since Fede organizes the first Metalphetamine festival in Patagonia this year and next year. So it might be interesting for you as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If you don't know Patagonia,
We'd love to.
of course you're invited, man.
I'd love to Patagonia. Yeah. Get in touch with our management. Let's set it up.
Okay,
Let's
it's a
go
deal.
Patagonian.
Yeah, for sure, man. Sure. Well, I know we have almost the time enough, Michael. So I don't know if
Okay.
you want the last one or something.
So, thank you, Karl. It was a fantastic interview. It was nice to meet you and talk to you and hear your opinion on things. Oh, it was great. Thank you. We'll let you know when it's going
Guys,
to be published.
it was a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you so much, Carl, for your time and all your words, man. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Federico.
Bye.
Thank you, Mike. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.